Hey yo chat, what's up chat? What's good? Hey yo, how you guys doing? What's up? What's up? Long time no see guys. Hey yo Stelios, I see you joined the giveaway, let's go. Man, nice seeing you here. How you doing? Please come Discord baby girl. Hey yo Ann, how you doing? What's up? Oh my god. Haven't I haven't had a monster in a while. So good. Thank you, Cheesy, for typing the message. Let's go. Ski! Bro, why is my story on Instagram not uploading? Hello? What the hell? How you doing, Nan? What's up? How's life? How you doing, Cheesy?
Gucci gang.
Nice.
I'm entering the games and waiting for you.
Right. I just have to see why is my story not uploading. Freak fuck Instagram doing me dirty again. Why is it like this? I'm doing great. Nice, nice. I'm glad to hear that. I'm okay. I'm okay. We just came back home with Cheesy yesterday. We were um away for some days, visiting his grandma. Traveled a bit to get away, to chill from the game. It was nice. It was a nice break. Bro, what the fuck? Motherfucker. Bro, I'm gonna get mad at Instagram. Ay ay ay. Bro, I can't wait to see the new skins and new stuff. Nice. Nice, nice. Nice. A few days off. Yup. Yup, yup, yup. It's gonna be a lot of days off, to be honest. Like, next week, I think, oh, yeah, on the 18th, I'm going to Greece on a girls' trip with my mom and a friend of hers and their daughters. Maybe I'll put on an IRL stream once and I'm gonna vlog too for YouTube. Me too, I'm so excited, but I'll only be able to play in about 12 hours. Man. Man, why in 12 hours though? Oh man. I know what you mean though, I know what you mean. I came back home just in time for the new season. Hey yo Nikki, how you doing? What's up? What's up? Bro, Cheesy, can you see what's happening? I don't know. Doesn't wanna upload. Freak fuck Instagram. Wait, let me get into the game to check out the new stuff. Let's go, let's go. Bro, the giveaway is not just like... It doesn't have to be a skin, it can be a bundle too, it doesn't matter. You still have some lattices? Bro, I haven't spent any. Oh shit, I didn't update the game. Fuck me. Why am I stupid? Gotta wait. Gotta wait now. I haven't spent any, I think. I just got a skin for Cheesy, and I have a lot left to use for the giveaway now, to give someone a skin, and the others are just, I don't know. There's plenty more. Bro, and I don't know. I wanna learn DPS this season, guys. Like, I wanna learn DPS so I can play Phoenix too. Cutie just chatting strikes again. Voice? Yeah. I have to stop smoking. Yeah. Bro, I'm just gonna yap until, like, game updates, I guess. 19%, fuck you. Nice. Have you seen the summer skins? I think I've seen them. Not sure though. Wait, I'm gonna check. If that's, cause it looked like concepts to me. It looked like drawings. I don't know. Why did my cam stop? Sorry. Wait, let me Google the summer skins. Marvel Rivals summer skins. Let's go. Wait. Smoking is good for aura farming and nothing else. Real. But it calms your nerves too. Like, it's good for stress too. But bad for your health, man. Would this be it? Wait, let me see. Oh jeez, I'm gonna throw up. Wait. I don't know if this is.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Teamups here. Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel.
I don't know
Today
why
we
it's
have
not
an
uploading.
insane
Oh,
look
what do you
at some
mean uploaded again? Bro, I've tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't really matter. Matter? Do you have the game open? I'm excited to see it. I'm updating it. 40%. Yup. Wait, I gotta upload the Instagram story again. Sorry, guys. Fuck. Hate this shit. And over to my place. You did to me. Cancel uploads. Fuck you, bitch. Now it's gonna upload 2 times, I'm sure of it. Freak fuck Instagram. Marvel Rivals. Free skin giveaway. Yeah, looks good like this. New season. Same old me. Yeah. Exactly. Link to Twitch. Twitch.tv cutie snack. Draw some hearts. Cause I'm a professional. Yeah. Slay. Looks ugly, but it's fine. Shorty song. I gotta hear it, wait. Where was the part that I wanted though? Bro. Nope. You can take it off. That's good. Good enough. Can it upload now, please? I'm waiting. Upload, please. It's on the game's official account. They're not leaked. I'll send it to. Wait. Send it where though? Wait, I'll just search it. Maybe. Yeah. Marvel Rivals Summer Skins. Why is it not on the first few stuffies? Oh shit.
Yo, what's going on, guys? teamups here. Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Today we have an insane look at some brand new swimsuit special comic that's coming out on July 11th, and they will be part of a summer event in Marvel Rivals, meaning some of them may actually be free skins, or at least one
Bro,
of them.
stop yapping. I
want
wanna see the skins.
Official news for Loki, and I mean, this is insane. First of all, we got Loki in this green and golden outfit. The staff is really awesome.
Jesus Christ, Loki's ripped.
This
what
is
the hell?
Of Loki, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly.
Why is
So
he
cool
wearing
that's
those
incorporated
small
into his
sleeper
staff. We also
bikini
have this
thingamajig?
awesome robe and even this creature around his neck. I'm not sure entirely if that's also a crocodile or what. And then we have the horns poking out of this really cool summer hat. And
YouTuber accent? Man, I wish I had this accent.
Everything's out. I mean, look at it. That is the vibe for this swimsuit special. He even has the kind
Loki's
of
skin
sliders
is a
on.
W.
Oh, absolute best looking weapons in this.
Who is... Oh, Punisher!
Got,
Oh
like,
my
a
god,
water
no,
gun
they didn't
Nerf
put
blaster.
this
It's definitely
on. They
Nerf
didn't
gun
do this.
style.
They didn't
I'm really
put
hoping
this.
This one's legendary, so it has more kind of water gun.
What the hell?
That blue orange, it's so cool, but also so funny at the same time because it doesn't look lethal at all.
Hey, Okuya, how you doing?
It's kind of
What the
impossible
fuck is
to
this
get
shit?
at that
It's
thing.
like
But
some summer skins. Some summer skins for Marvel Rivals. Yeah.
Thus, the skin as well looks insane. You can see the Punisher skull.
Bro,
is no
he looks
longer on his
badass,
chest.
though.
Instead, it's covering his nether regions.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. And the only thing he really has on is this kind of scarf. Again, it has a bunch of skulls around it. We also have him with these shades on and this cool kind of necklace. With
He a 10,
summery
he a
vibes.
baddie.
He's also wearing some flip-flops in this again.
Oh, they
with a
also
little
have
skull
skulls.
around his toes. And then does he have like a drink on his back? I think that's like an ice-cold beverage that he has strapped to him when he gets a little bit thirsty. Now, I don't know exactly how they're going to be selling these skins.
Level like 6
get.
I don't know.
Like this Thor one might be the free skin. You can see Thor, he has his
Oh my
kind of
god, I love
swimming
this skin.
trunks on, and he's got these flip-flops. This one seems a little bit more basic. That's why I think this
Bro,
could
it's fine.
potentially be the free
It's
one.
Thor.
And you can see he has this kind of short hair, the side view. He's looking fresh with that
Practically
beard,
only like the female
short hair,
ones.
and the bandana.
To
I
be
mean,
honest,
these
I
don't look
kinda
the
like
Thor that I know.
them so
he
far.
also has the kind of
Also the male
shark-tooth
skins.
necklace, I believe that is, around his neck, and these round circular
But it is
glasses.
kinda
And
basic.
in it, sticker on it that says brother.
This is cute.
Very, very adorable.
Yeah.
They're going all
Yeah,
out
yeah.
with these skins. And next up, we have a Luna snow skin. This one, you can see she has
Bro,
the
why is
black
it
and
not
white
upload-
color skin. The icy hair looks so cool. I think blue.
Oh my
definitely looks
god.
the best on Luna
She's
Snow.
so
Even has
slay,
the
what do
headphones
you
on and these
mean?
Blue shades as well. I don't know
Oh
if
my
these
god, I
will be
love
on
her hair.
head or if they'll be
Oh my
actually
god,
on
the
her
cat,
eyes,
guys.
because she's got the blue and orange eyes. But then she
Oh,
also has these
jeez.
kind of frosty.
Bro, she looks like a
practical
Negro.
effects
I
around
love her.
She's got on both her legs these kind of icy, hardened effect, and then even on her stomach as well. I think this is a really cool kind of swimsuit outfit. It's kind of got the snowflake styling across it all, and then we have the black and white long sleeves that go around her fingers as well. Really,
Why can you
really
see
cool.
the
And then on
lines
her
of the
ankles
punani,
as well,
guys?
sleeves that go
Hello?
around her fingers as well.
Excuse me?
Really,
Excuse
really
me?
cool. And then on
Excuse
her
me?
ankles as
Mommy?
well,
Sorry.
we had the kind
Mommy?
of moon
Sorry.
crescent
Mommy?
and the snowflake
Sorry.
as well.
Mommy?
So very
Oh, even her nails are blue and white. What the hell?
as
Nice.
well. We had the kind of moon crescent and the snowflake as well.
Exactly
Very,
whatever Nikki
very
played.
dope skin. You already know people.
They need to
are
give
gonna
her
love
a-
this. And then we
Give
have
her a
the
dot bot
Psylocke skin.
Ariel.
I think this will probably be their most
Oh,
successful. I know when
damn.
the swimsuit
Ooh,
special was
damn.
revealed, that
Bro,
was
she looks so Demon Slayer coded. She looks like this girl. Kinda. Bro, Instagram is fucking trolling me, I swear. Freak fuck. Demon Slayer. What was her name? Girl. Butterfly. I don't know. This girl. Wait. Bro, it's nothing I like, to be honest. I don't know. Just the vibe of her kimono or something? I don't know. Same colors, I guess? I don't know.
Psylocke on one of the covers. And
Similar
we knew we were
colors?
getting a Psylocke skin because of this voice line.
My group's eye.
Time to
Real.
cut loose. So much for vacation.
So I think a lot of people
It's a
were
really nice skin.
anticipating, and it looks so much better than the one on the
Bro.
cover art, in my opinion. There's a lot more going on. It's a really cool design.
Just
We
it
have this
doesn't
kind of
want to
pink
upload.
and green color scheme. You can see she also
Don't know,
has
it's
kind of a
fucked.
pink sort of gradient ombre effect in the hairstyle as well, which I think looks cool. And the pink bow in her hair. And then she has this pink and green swimsuit with the
Uninstalling
butterfly
Instagram for
holding
real.
it together. Of course, incorporating plenty of butterflies, even on her back as well. There's a cutout of the butterfly. There's also a bunch of butterfly pins in her hair. There's also a butterfly around her thigh as well on that section. Also, 2 butterflies
Oh,
on her
jeez.
side. Around her ankles, there's 2 butterflies. I think it's really, really cool the way they've incorporated that in there.
Bro,
I guess
it's
they also
really
kind of look like
pretty.
flowers as well, so it works really well. And then she just has this kind of footwear.
I don't play her.
Really, really dope.
I enjoy
Especially the
playing her, but
katanas
I'm
as well.
bad.
You can see the katana when
I'd
it's
get
sheathed
it
is in
if
this kind of
I
green
start
and
playing her.
gold case, and then you can see when it's unsheathed, it's going to be
Oh
glowing
my
purple
god,
around the
uploading
outside.
the
So I
story
think
for the
they
third time, guys.
100% cooked with these skins. I think people are certainly going to be buying these. And it's going to be part of the summer event. So I believe what it will be is probably 4 of these skins will be in the store. There might be more skins. I guess they only posted these ones because they were the ones leaked. But I imagine there's not going to be any more rival skins in the comic. Otherwise, they would have been leaked by now because the person had their hands on the actual physical comic. That's how they got leaked. So I'd suspect 4 of these skins will be in the store, and 1 of them will be part of a free
Bro,
event.
what?
Or we're going to be getting
Where
a
did my
combat
link go?
chest, but for the summer event, which I think would make a lot of sense, where we'll get a bunch of those skins. But those 5 skins, absolutely incredible. They cooked. Summer is going to be lit in Marvel Rivals. I am kind of hoping there'll be more, but those 5 are definitely great. And we can see a look at the swimsuit special cover now, and it does say indeed the rival skins are inside. And also, if you do buy the Marvel Swimsuit Special comic, you will get a redeem code for the Unlimited Thing skin. Now, people who did get a membership for Marvel Unlimited have already got this skin. I already have it on my account, but if you want to buy the comic, you will get a code for the Thing skin. It's nothing crazy, it's just a recolor, but it's pretty cool. So let me know what you think of those skins.
Hey,
We also
okay,
have
P,
some
how you
more updates,
doing?
some leaks from Rivals info, giving us some pretty cool info, so I thought I'd add
This is a YouTube video, just got here and all I see is feet. Man. I don't know. I don't know why they be obsessed with feet, but nothing wrong with it. Whatever floats your boat, you know. Zuckerberg plotting against you for real. Zuckerberg fucking sabotaging me, guys. Now it worked without music. Maybe it's something from the song. I don't know. Not gonna lie. I don't know. What is wrong with Juice WRLD Shorty song? Like, what the hell? Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Nothing wrong with a little bit of toes. Real men suck toes. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Do women suck toes too? Do men like getting their toes sucked, guys? Asking for a friend. I don't know. I'm alright being fake man then. Oh damn. Oh damn. How you doing, KP?
add that to this video. First of all,
So that's
we are
all
going
the
to be getting
skins, right?
new emotes that you can pair between heroes.
Wait,
They're
let's
gonna
see
be
if it
these group
updates. It
emotes,
updated!
where
Let's go!
essentially one
I like every skin, almost like... The girl skins are better, obviously, I don't know. They're just better, I don't know. They're just too slay, Queen Pussy Boss, oh yeah. Oh damn, baby girl. That's right. Yes, keep doing whatever you're doing. Yup. Yup. Yup, yup, yup. Yup, girl skins are better. Loki skin kinda slay too though. I kinda like it. Kinda like it. Wait, let's get into the game to check out the new stuff, guys. Give me a sec here. I can think of no experience worse than having my toes violated. Man, cheesy. Cheesy.
Yeah.
Do you like getting your
No.
toes sucked?
No.
No? Bro, but you
No.
never tried this. Has anyone sucked your toes?
Yes. There was one dog we used to own when I was little, but he died.
Oh. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. That went dark real quick. The Pun Pun water gun goes crazy. Which water gun? Do they all have water guns? I didn't pay attention to this. Hey, Stelius, how you doing? She's a man without culture too. If a lady popped my toes in her mouth, I wouldn't stop her. Ooh, damn. Ooh, damn. Freaky. Ah. Bro, guys, I miss drinking Monster, not gonna lie to you. Oh my god, they're so good. What's the giveaway for? It's for Marvel Rivals skin. You just put exclamation mark, giveaway, follow me on Twitch, which you already do, and you're in. And at the end of the stream, I spin the wheel or whatever it is, and we pick a winner, and I give them a skin. Ski! I would like, no baby girl, what are you doing? Those are those. What are those? Bro, faster, I wanna see. Hello? Bro, but to be honest, maybe a hot take, but maybe not, I don't know. Toes are ugly. Toes are ugly. I don't get people who like toes, guys. Toes are ugly, like, feet in general are ugly. Especially the thumb. What the helly? What the helly? Why is it looking at me like this? Okay, got other right when you started talking about the giveaway. So the giveaway is about... Wait, doesn't the pin message say what it is about? Nope, it doesn't say. So basically, the giveaway is for skin in Marvel Rivals. Like, you just type exclamation mark giveaway to enter it, and then at the end of the stream, we spin the wheel. Someone wins. They pick a skin, and I give it to them. Yup. Hey, yo, Dante, how you doing? My first ever mod, bro. I haven't seen you in a while. What the helly? Where you been? Where you've been? How's life? Huh? Kitty, do you have monkey feet or something? Hey, yo! Jonge! Thank you! Thank you for the 100 bitties! Thank you, appreciate it, let's go. Bro, maybe I have monkey feet, who knows? Only Cheesy knows. When he gets back here, he'll tell us all about it. I don't know. Life? She does. Thanks for the vibrations, kid. Bro, what the fuck? Bro, you guys don't know. I was sending TikToks to Yonge today. No, I was liking the TikToks that he sent me. Because I was pooping, alright? Don't judge me. I watch TikTok only when pooping. Nothing wrong with that. Yes. So, Yonge, I am liking Yonge's TikToks. Yonge is at work and he's like texting me, yeah, I haven't like, something about vibrations and balls. His balls haven't vibrated like this or something. Bro, I can't storytell, sorry. Yup. Yup. Is this cheating? Jesus Christ. My balls vibrated at work so hard and then I yelled. What the hell? I can't make balls vibrate, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Girls do not poop real. Real. I was just like staring at the wall in the toilet, guys. And then I yelled. You vibrated another man's butt. Bro, it was an accident, alright? It was an accident. I didn't know. I didn't. Why do you hold your phone on your balls? That's the real question. That's the real question. People used to read Shakespeare on the toilet. Now we just scroll brain rot on TikTok. Real. Real. Bro, not gonna lie, I don't read much. Like, I just read manga sometimes. She a femboy? Yes. It's in my pocket and it's swinging. Oh. Oh. Alright. Bro. Most guys usually buy toys for that sort of thing. Bro, I mean, whatever floats your boat, guy. Boat. Yes, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge. I don't know. Bro, what the hell?
Oh my god, stop, bro, I'm stuck. Can you help me?
It's time, guys. It's time to see the real stuff here. Cutie reads dirty mangas on the toilet. Fuck you, GM. I hate this. I hate this. I'm plat 2. Oh, damn. This ugly. This skin ugly, guys. Whatever floats your balls. Exactly. Or your punani. Whatever you like. Bro, both skins kinda ugly. I hate this shit. I don't know. Alright. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, so Cheesy was right. The raccoon skin is on the battle pass, I guess. Oh my god, that's so PogChamp. Like, these skins are so badass. LA Lakers skin. Yeah. Exactly the same color scheme. Hard stack plat. Bro, the Venom Squirrel, hot as fuck. A Rio. She looks so dope. Bro, I really like this skin. Like, the fucking tail is crazy. This is so cute. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus, this is so pretty. Oh my god, I love this. What the hell? I don't like this one. He has better skins. Oh, this is cool. Imagine what the tail mouth can do. Kappa? Ayo? Yeah, it can like rip your dick apart. How does that sound? Yeah. Is the cam lagging or is it me? Oh jeez, it's lagging again. Fuck me. Thank you, Darker. Thank you for telling me. Wait, guys, I'll fix it. Bro, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lagging again. Fuck this shit. I'm just gonna try to stop recording. And like, if it doesn't work, I'll restart stream and just put it not on 4K because maybe that's the reason. Ayo, Lexi, how you doing? Ayo, Zikeo. Darker, how you doing? How you doing, guys? Should be an option instead of skin battle pass. Whatever floats your boat, guys. It can be the battle pass too.
But it was only the cam lagging though.
Only the cam lagging?
Maybe because we're using the Elgato thingy, yeah?
So what?
Maybe try to stop it and just use the stream.
The mirror.
Yeah, and just mirror it.
I'm stopping it. Guys, my cam is gonna flip right now. Where is my cam?
Just go into your OBS and
Oh yeah,
on
I
the
know.
Sony cam, pick the different source.
Oh jeez, this looks so weird. Wait, I have to mirror it because I hate this shit.
Loki kind of looks good now.
No, I hate it. It's so weird. Wait, let me change it
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah,
Give me a
try
sec.
to go into the game now.
Give me a sec, please. Please.
But it flipped the forward
Wait.
go too.
Oh,
Flip on the cam.
bro.
Only the cam. Right click only the cam.
Bro, why did you make everything so hard?
Sorry.
All the wrong things are hard, guys. What the hell? Ayo, who said this? I didn't. I did not say anything.
Yeah, it looks good now.
Is it fine now? Alright.
Yeah.
Wait. Alright, let's see now. Tell me if it's lagging again.
Do something into the game. Scroll
Yeah,
something.
wait, I have to check chat. I'm doing good. Nice, nice. Glad to hear that. Ski. I'm good. Was away for a few days with Cheesy to visit his grandma. A nice fucking break from this fuck game, to be honest. And guys, Cheesy, yesterday we were in Pleven to meet with one of our friends. And like, there was this gacha thingy that you play, like, in a mall. And like, there were like keychains, and there was a Kuromi one. Obviously, probably AliExpress Kuromi, but whatever. I wanted it. So Cheesy got it for me on the second fucking try. Let's go. Wait, I'll show you. It looks so broken. Wait. Yup. It looks broken. It's kinda scuffed, but it's fine. Yup. When you compare it to the others, it's like... It's obvious. But it's fine. It's like a memory from there. Yup. We die laying on bed. Hey, yo! You guys laying together? Watching the stream together here? Nice. She's in Australia. Who's in Australia? Streamer right now. You kinda sus. Does the skin have to be from Marvel though? Yup. Cause like I have points in Marvel Rivals to spend. Get me taken 8 battle pass. Nope. You met Nasco without me, fuckers. Bro, we're gonna talk about it wherever Cheesy wants to, because it's his thing to talk about. It wasn't planned. When are you guys coming to Varna? Fuck Pleven. Man, we're gonna go probably on a vacation to Svetivas, like on the 25th. For a week probably. Cause like the sleeping there would be free, cause my aunt has an apartment there, so yeah, we'll only have to pay for food. I saw one this morning. So what? I missed the point, sorry. Dante, treba da se vidim. I knew I saw it somewhere. Oh, are you talking about the story that I uploaded? Maybe yes. I don't know. There's a battle pass now. Don't worry about it. Fan meeting in Sveti was okay. Good to know, noted. Should be season pass. Kuromi? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I put it on Discord. Bro, I was like, my brain lagged, sorry. Make sure you take your mic if come per chance. What do you mean? For just $5 you guys can come to Sweaty Was and throw tomatoes at her. I love tomatoes, it's fine. It's better than raw eggs, I guess. I don't know. You can throw cans of tuna on cheesy. He will like the taste for only $10. Bro. No, you're not throwing anything at my baby girl. Throw it at me, but not at my baby girl, alright? Alright? You're gonna throw hands. Alright, let's continue looking at the pretty skins, guys. And just let me know if it keeps lagging, so I restart the stream maybe, I don't know. What the fuck? McDonald's skin? Bro, why do they make fucking red with fucking yellow, gold, whatever it is? Fucking skins, bro. Ugly. The animations are cool, but like, kinda ugly. Cutie cutie. Hey yo, what's up? Think I saw it in one of your Instagram. Oh, that's a different one. I just have a lot of those. That's literally Ivan from League. Oh my god, it actually looks like him, to be honest. I've never thought about this. Yup. Gotta report the golden arch. That's Phoenix colors. Yeah, but it looks better on her, I guess. I don't know. Bro, why is my OBS chat lagging? I'm confusion. That's where I know it from? Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. You can get those shoulders in World of Warcraft. Oh, I think I've seen those, some kind of like this. Yeah, I don't know. Something similar, yep. For the short time that I played this game. This skin, kinda dope. Wait, what's the emote? Aww. Poggies. A flower for you, chat. Bro, why the fuck? Oh jeez. I don't like this. It's kinda better than the Wolverine, but I don't like it still. Oh jeez. Well, on Panther it kinda looked basic, but on Adam this kinda looks dope. Oh, what the fuck is this? Namor looking like an LMB player again. What is LMB? Hey, Oli, how you doing? Your announcement in Discord doesn't tag anyone PEPEGA. Oh jeez, I'm just stupid. I haven't streamed in 5 days and I forgot how to do this. I'm sorry. Let me fix it. Thank you, Dante. I appreciate the help. I just forget sometimes how to be a streamer. Bro, and me and Cheesy were traveling with the bus because no one of us PEPEGAs has a fucking driver's license, alright? So, and we don't have a car. And we're traveling with the bus, bro. And like, I had to like speak English sometimes so I don't forget how to. And like, I'm just randomly in the bus, like, like people are looking at me weird, and I'm like, hey, your chat was a good chat. How you guys doing? Ski. bro, and bro, I don't know what is wrong with me, but I hate it. Hey, yo, Monos, how you doing? Doing well. Nice, nice. Glad to hear that. I'm good. I'm good. Excited to see who's gonna win the fucking giveaway. Yeah. Hello, Nicolita. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, guys. Let's go. Time to unfollow. Man, what do you mean? We're actually close to fucking 700, which means if I hit it today, tomorrow I have to do a 12-hour stream, which is kinda crazy, not gonna lie. If I happen to win the giveaway, do it again. I'm not playing the game and I didn't know. It's fine, it's fine. If someone enters that doesn't play the game, we reroll it. It's fine. I just saw the people we are traveling to a mental asylum. How do you pronounce it? Bro. Yeah, so no one, literally no one talked to us because of that. Thank you, Cheesy. Give it to a friend of yours. Yeah, or and if you have a friend that plays, that's also valid. You can do that. Asylum? Bro, I don't know. Those poor people on the bus, you can't open the windows on those things. Imagine the smell with her in it for hours. Bro, but no, like the 2 times, like when we were going to Rusem to visit his grandma, the buses were fine, alright? The bus was fine. But when we were coming back yesterday, we took a bus from Russe to fucking Pleven. The bus was alright again. But from Pleven, bro, to Sofia, bro. Oh, jeez. It was like a big bus with a lot of seats, like probably 50 people in there. And it was so uncomfortable because the seats were so close together, like literally no place for your feet almost. And like, I mean for your legs. And like, there were so many people, and like there were dirty people, guys, and it stinked so bad, like someone farted the whole time. Like, Jesus Christ. And there was this fucking grandma behind us that was constantly pushing Cheesy's seat, like, and like at one moment she played something, like she had some kind of device that she listens to like noises, bro, and she played fucking birds like chirping or whatever the word is and the whole bus was listening to this shit, and she was like, hey yo, can you fucking stop this fucking device, because no one wants to listen to it. But not like this mean, but like it was kinda mean, not gonna lie. But like, what the hell? No one has to listen to this shit. People were trying to sleep literally. What did I miss? Wait. Sorry, I got lost while yapping. Such a rat. We were close. Let's queue. I'll queue in a sec. I'm just looking at skins. How you doing, Maggie? Good to my boy, Nikki. Man, whoever gets the luck wins. I don't know. It's random. Prepare your ass for the skin. Have you tried using PEPEGA? Nope, never. Cheesy wanted me to get on the train. Like, to experience that, but next time. I've never been. Maybe shower next time. At least you can go move somewhere. Well, like, yesterday there was no place to move. Like, every seat was taken. It was crazy. Literally every... Oh, you mean on the train? Yeah, that makes sense. Literally every public transit in America has some weirdo playing something on a speaker. It's hell. What the fuck? That's so That's kinda crazy, like, no one has to listen to this shit. Next time we will have a car at least, a Rio. We're thinking about getting our driver's license, like, in August, probably. We're gonna do it together. I just curse at other drivers, it's fine. Rank, I'm currently plat. I think plat 2. If I win, give it to Nikki, if it's possible. Guys, what do you think? Like, do we... If, like, for example, Stelios wins, he doesn't play the game, do we re-roll the winner? Or, like, does Stelios tell me who to give it to? This is the real question, because I don't know. I'm doing this for the first time, I don't know. Winner's choice. Yeah, but Cheesy, someone else should also... Okay, Monos also agreed. Alright then, whoever wins... Bro, I can't speak, I'm sorry. Whoever wins, if they don't play the game, they tell me who to give it to. Alright. Keep it simple. Alright. We do this, like you guys said. Oh jeez, this is cool. I've seen this though. It was leaked. And I've seen this too. With the Venom dance, kinda crazy, not gonna lie. Yup. He got the moves for you. Oh! That's a good skin, like, it still has the ugly colors, like, but it looks better with white, I guess. Oh, damn. Oh, damn, mommy, sorry? Mommy, sorry? Oh, yes. I will let her, like, step on me any day. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, please step on me. I don't mind it. You're free to do that, ma'am. Ma'am, Shazam. Hey, yo, RDL YouTuber. Hey, hello, welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day or night. Why they entering the damn giveaway if they don't play the game? I don't know. I didn't like explain it well. Like, I didn't put it anywhere in my title that it's Marvel Rivals fucking giveaway. And I didn't like... Cheesy didn't put it in the pin message too, so... I mean, yeah. Cause free monies, bobas. Yup, the bobas are real nice, real good. But like, the Gyat is level 10 Gyat, guys. Jesus Christ, what the hell? She's 90% Lex Holy. Bro, she's just built different, guys. So far, so good. Nice. Glad to hear that. Hope you're doing great as well. I'm doing good, thank you. PEPEGA chat. I mean, you can give me a skin in Valorant. I appreciate that, Kappa. Man, but I don't have this like in Valorant, you know? I'm just doing this because Anne sponsored me last time with fucking points in Marvel Rivals, guys. Like, yup. JK, of course. Maybe someday, if I start playing again, we can do this. Because I like gifting things to people, so yeah, sounds good to me. Cat is always 100% a Rio. Oh, that's the skin that Cheesy wants. I have to get him the battle pass, guys. I have to get Cheesy the battle pass, guys. He needs this skin. Like this is him, like, no cap. Like, for real. Jeff Loki badass too. Jesus Christ. If I play Jeff, this would be my main skin. This is it? Is this everything? Yup. Kinda don't fuck with these skins though. But the others are fine. That skin kinda rules a Rio. The Jeff one Real cool, real nice. Very good, very nice. Cutie, if you want trophies. What is a few want trophies? Let me Google that shit. Poor vocabulary. Like, I think it's the same in Bulgarian, but I just don't know what the word means. A person who seeks to promote the welfare of others, especially by the generous donation of money to good causes. Bro, if I have a lot of money, I'd also donate, like, to stuff like, I don't know, how is it called in English? Is it campaigns? I don't know. I don't think the word is campaigns, to be honest. Bro, I don't know. I don't know. I think that's the only skin that looks alright. The Jeff one, right? I didn't see. I think you guys are talking about the Jeff skin. I like all the skins that look like Venom, to be honest. And Jeff and Spidey are real. Hey yo, let's go, Lidi! Let's go! Now you get to play the game, Pogyu. I'm Cutie, English teacher. Rio. Bro, I was literally talking about this to my mom the other day. Cause like, you guys help me improve my English. Like, that's crazy. Charity. That's the word. That's the word. Wait, let me see if I missed something. I don't think so. What other skins is there? Oh, damn. Oh, damn, and it's pink, bro. Oh, jeez. She's slaying. She ate and left no crumbs, guys. Bro, I'm kinda scared, like, people are now gonna... They're either gonna ban her in ranked, or they're gonna be... Everyone's gonna play her, and, like, people will learn her in my ranked games, or and the enemy Phoenix would be, like, the most goated Phoenix, while our Phoenix is learning to play her. Like, something like that. Always happens. Oh, jeez, that's so cute. Day and night. Daimu. Faras Rio. But I think Emma's Gyat is the 10 out of 10 Gyat of the game. I don't know. Oh my god! Why is it yellow? Oh! Oh! Oh my god! What the hell? Oh jeez, her nails ugly though. What the fuck? I had to, alright? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. €18 for a sub? Fuck you, Bezos. What do you mean, €18? People that try to learn characters in ranked are a disease? Yup. This should be like forbidden. The forbidden jutsu. Like, why do you do this? Like, what the hell? Is your life that bad to ruin everyone's game? I don't get it. Like, maybe they should make something like you have to have some hours played on the hero to play it in ranked or something. I don't know. Bro, where did Cheesy go? New achievement, thingamajiggs. What else? What else is new? The fuck is this? Guys, what is this? Oh! What? Oh my god! Oh no, they didn't. Bro, why do these guys make this cute stuff? They just wanna make us broke, guys. I am not looking at this anymore, like I can't look. I should not be looking at the store, like I don't know. I don't know. Why is this like... Did I miss something on this battle pass? No,
Oh.
I've got everything. What?
Did you check everything out?
Yeah. Wait.
Did you check the new hero?
Nope. Hmm. Cheesy, are we doing today or what?
What are we doing?
Maggie's asking me to trio. Do we do or we trio?
Yeah, let's invite her. But let's talk in voice chat if that's okay.
Yeah,
with her.
she said it's fine. She said it's fine.
Yeah.
Can I ask why there's 3 stories in Instagram? Bro, cause Instagram was doing me dirty and didn't want to upload any of them. And now I knew this is gonna happen. Freak fuck. Zuckerberg sabotaging me. Oh my god, they're 3. They're actually 3. What the fuck? Shit, fuck. Fuck you. Oh my god, I'm so done. Jesus Christ. Fuck you. Bro, now they're not deleting. Or maybe I deleted every single one. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, guys. I did it. Wait, so what else did I miss? It says if I don't want to see ads, I have to do a 80 euro sub, like on Twitch. What the fuck? Is this for real? It shouldn't be this expensive. Gotta be at least captain level to play a character in ranked Rio. People that try to learn characters. Yeah, I've read that. Yeah, let's read everything double. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, there's also events from free storm skin. I don't know. Her hair is weird. Oh, she has blue and red in it. Nice. Oh, geez, she can stab someone with her shoes. Sorry, mommy. Mommy, sorry. What else? Teamups. What's the new teamups? Johnny and Spidey? Greedy ass Bezos. That's too much, to be honest. Select tier 1 instead of tier 3. Yeah, maybe you've selected... I don't know what the prices are, but the like the normal subs also stops ads, I think. Am I right, Cheesy?
Yeah.
The cheapest sub also stops ads. Tier 1 sub. It shouldn't be like 18 euro. That's too much. I don't think... And I have no benefits for tier 3. So it's like... useless to get tier 3. I have no emotes, special emotes for tier 3. I have nothing. Wait, so what does this do? I don't get it. Oh, Spidey doing a backflip and like puts you on fire or something. Nice. Fucking flame damage. So you burn over time? Yup. Oh jeez. Fuck you.
Flaming wet.
You get the buddy for invis?
I've got the recover, bro. I've got a recover of
No, you
invis.
can get the potion for invis.
Bro, don't stop making me spend money. I have to buy you the battle pass. I have to buy like whoever wins something, and I don't know.
No,
I don't
you
know.
get it from playing the game. It's free.
Oh, where do you get it?
Go to store accessories, and then for each hero there are like different ones.
Alright. Ah, yeah, gotta stay high. Too low in my.
Bro, just check the spells inside the training.
No. Nano Ray? Upgraded? What the fuck? Yeah, Ultron totally needed to be buffed, I guess. Is this a buff? I don't know. Oh, I've seen this on TikTok or something.
Yeah.
That's
fucking
crazy, bro.
Spider-Man is
It's
go
gonna
crazy
be
now.
disgusting.
It's auto tracking you through the walls, actually.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, I'm gonna get pissed. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Oh, now Hela has this team up too. Yeah, Hela needed a team up, to be honest. What did she only have with Loki? I don't know.
And top.
Yeah. But that's the only team up she had, right? Yeah, it was the only one. She needed that team up. She needs to be included. Yup. I think I've checked out everything. Bro, Cheesy, look at my recover.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, but like, I don't get why the... I guess she's wearing something... Like, cause that's not the same as here. That's the skin color. Kinda looks weird, but it's fine. It's pink. Alright, wait, where was this? But I don't like the invis thingu. I like the Bucky. The Bucky thingu magic. The gato. Can I get the gato and put it on invis? Or is it champion like coded?
No, it's for champions.
Oh. Bro, but
you get
invis one
those
is...
points from playing the game, I think.
Oh, I see,
You
I
can
see.
look at the like display inside the game. It's on the
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I see. Oh, Spidey is really cool too. Where is my girl Cookie? Wait, let me see.
He's
Cookie!
sleeping.
Yeah, she's sleeping. Probably, wait. Yup, sleeping on the... next to the TV. But she's getting into heat again, so I better not wake her up. Alright, I'm ready. We're just waiting for Maggie. I don't see her online. I don't know if I have her main account here added. Wait, let me see. Everything alright with the giveaway thingu? Yup. Cheesy, so
What?
do you want to be on the giveaway or nah? Cause you've joined it.
If it's me, you're gonna reroll it. It's fine.
Okay. And
Or you
it's...
can remove me.
What the fuck? Why is there stream elements in the giveaway? How did stream elements enter the giveaway, guys?
I don't know.
What the fuck? Coming back home. Should I get the battle pass?
Yeah, I get it. Get everything.
What is a luxury battle pass?
You get bonus points so you can unlock things faster.
I'm
But
getting
you can always
normal one.
upgrade it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Empty. Let's go. Hate this hero, but it's fine.
Is there a way to change your background on the main screen now? Or no?
I don't think so. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Not sure. So it just gives you bonus chrono points if you upgrade it. That's
Yeah.
stupid in my opinion. Like if you play the game, you get everything in like no time.
But it's for people that don't play that
True,
much,
true,
I
true, true,
guess.
true. For people that don't have time, it's worth it, I guess.
True.
Remove me from giveaway, it's not fair. But people agreed if someone that doesn't play the game wins, like they either say they either pick the winner or we reroll it. It's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. The black hole. Ready? Goddamn empty. Fair enough. Yup. It's fine. Don't wanna remove anyone from the giveaway so I don't like misclick someone and like delete someone that I shouldn't be deleting. So I don't complicate this shit.
Which hero do you think you want to be?
Just world good music taste. Ayo, Peachy Princess, thank you! Thank you! Love me some fucking fellow Juice WRLD listeners.
I'm not the type who fades
Let's go.
into the background.
How you doing? How you doing? Welcome in. Hope you enjoy your stay here. I saw a giveaway and joined because I'm greedy as fuck. Man, it's fine, it's fine. We already thought about it, like, if someone that doesn't play the game wins it, they just pick the winner or we reroll it. It's fine, it's fine. It's not that deep. So now, Wolfern is a ban. Iron Man. So do you think people will play Phoenix on ranked, Cheesy?
I don't know. I haven't played. I don't know. I didn't watch anything about the new season. I don't know what is buffed. I don't know what is nerfed. So they're kind of fucked.
Bro, honestly, the original colors are better of the skin.
The right heroes
But it's fine, it's fine. Insta walk that shit. Bro, now we're gonna have the toughest plat matches because everyone's rank is resetted. And like, we'll be stuck in like low ranks because of that. Like it was last time. But thank you, have fun in games. Right, Phoenix seems pretty strong. Nice, nice, I'm glad to hear that. And thank you. I'll try my best to have fun. I think I'll be really pissed with the new fucking Squirrel Girl team up thingy because this grenade that she launches now seems really broken, to be honest.
You are the Winter Soldier, aren't you?
I honestly haven't tried Phoenix. I have to check her out.
They have Spider-Man.
She's so pretty and looks really OP.
Starts in 5,
Still Gunner skin. Real.
2, 1.
Locking it in.
You need to stop that.
Bro, I haven't played this game in 4 days. This is gonna be really bad. Like, really, really bad. Oh, jeez. Maggie's goated. What stunned me? Hello?
The Phoenix thing is, I guess.
I'll need to get used to this. Guys, oh, my game is lagging again. I have to restart stream.
Oh, don't restart. Did you stop the recording?
Yeah, I stopped it. Guys, I'm sorry, I'll fix it after game. It's from the 4K. Bro, why does it have to happen now?
They faded halfway. Stop them. Thought you wouldn't see me.
I'm so tired of this shit. Sorry for the lag, guys.
Phoenix, please focus the Human Torch and Ultron.
No worries. I've got your back.
Can't touch.
Yup.
Just make Marvel to low settings. Try to do that first.
I can now.
Yeah, when you die. I don't know what we fucked on your PC, but we need to fix that.
It's either from the 4K or something from the BIOS that you did.
Yeah.
He switched to Spider-Man.
Nice. Bro, Maggie's just too goated. They switched because of her. Oh fuck. I'm so confused with Phoenix abilities.
Can't push forward, so can't.
Ultron behind.
What?
What the fuck is happening?
What the hell? How did I die here?
Bro, why is Luna not hitting me though?
Bro, I think she has more healing than me, not gonna lie to you.
Clear, I'm still needed here.
I have only 4K healing and I died in my ult just now.
Go through your ult, Jesus Christ. Popped every ult in the game.
Yep. But now Bucky should have a free ult.
Better stop that vehicle. That's much better.
Dying.
Sorry. Oh, I died. Let me put everything on low.
I don't give up so easily.
Can we not be AFK? Thank you.
No.
Can you please play? Anyways,
Bro, shut your bitch
yup,
ass
yup.
up.
What are they saying? I didn't
Play
hear.
the game, I'm fixing something. It's blood, bro, who cares?
Yeah, but they're all okay. Now I'm pot.
Trallallero, trallallà.
Tralalelo, tralala.
I'm one hook. See Venom?
Clearly you needed some help. Thanks so much.
Bro, or Bucky is just the goat. Bro, cheesy.
Sorry.
It's still lagging. Not everything is on low, but most things are on low.
Do you know? Okay, after the game, remove the shadow from the.
Alright.
Maybe it's from the plugin from the cam.
Choose your 2
Need
deep.
help, need help.
One's behind.
Hook. Stuck it.
Second.
Bro, fuck it. Oh, I missed. Bro,
I'm dying, I'm dying.
I got the healers. Oh. Nice.
have my ult. Don't die there.
Fine.
Bro, we fucked them.
Nice team.
Listen to me. Go to your the groups from the forward. Go and come and remove the effect for the shadow.
Bro, it shouldn't be from this.
Side you're on.
Wait. Bro, I can't even. My OBS is lagging.
You'll need a
Yeah, it must be from some plugin. I don't know.
So how do I do this? How do I remove it?
Just remove. Right-click filters and remove the filter.
Bro, I can't. It's lagging. My OBS is lagging.
It's fine. You got time. Just wait for it.
Properties. No filters.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You got time. You got time. We got 1 minute.
There is no effects on it.
On the group, not on the cam.
On the group filters.
Yeah.
I can't do it now. It's really slow. I literally can't do it now.
It's fine when you can.
They have a penny. Careful.
I don't know how to taste it off stream, because like we tried recording only
Got petty.
and it was fine. But when we
What?
stream, it's
I
kind of
removed it.
fuck it.
The battle starts in 5.
Guys, is it still lagging?
Yeah, go in the game.
Yeah, it's still lagging, bro.
No, it's better. It's,
No, it's still lagging.
Wait, let me destroy the turret first, right?
I'm dead.
Yeah, too deep. Ayo, Sassy! Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome in.
I got the penny.
Ayo, babes. Stream is lagging. I'll fix it after the game, cause like
I'm pushing up.
it's fucked for real.
Go, I'm clapping. Go.
Ayo, Chronix! Hey, hi, hello! Welcome in, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support, guys.
I pushed too much.
Yeah,
They're all in there. Just use the tank.
I am. No, with the bullet. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I will ult after this and we got it. Don't worry, don't worry. Just stay alive. Stay alive. Ulting now.
Oh jeez, they fucked us! What the hell?
Fuck. Yeah, they used everything, bro. It's fine, go for it.
We was both on like
Emma-
95% and we insta-popped it and we got it.
Emma ult and Phoenix ult, low-key
But he
crazy.
should have a
Penny mines
again.
there.
Not gonna lie. Jeez, you're going too deep. I don't
Bro.
know.
But like,
I have range, I can't hear you when you go before everyone else.
I'll just go heal.
Don't
Start
go, maybe don't go Venom.
Yeah.
I can go Cloak if you stay on Venom, I don't know.
We don't
No,
need more healing,
How
bro. We
should
need
Ah,
another
that's
tank.
good.
We do.
again?
No, we don't need
Let's
another
go,
tank,
let's
bro.
Emma, one
Punisher
more.
behind.
Hello first.
Nice. We win these easy.
Nice. Push up.
Careful with the bombs.
I'm trying, bro.
Break the turret.
No one's on the payload though. Cheesy, can you go?
Stay on point.
Please.
The point moves on its own, it's fine. It's not Overwatch, bro.
There you go. But it's slow, but it's fine.
It's fine, we're fucking them, we're getting ult charges.
I'll help first, I'll help.
Fall back a little bit.
I'm back.
Back.
I'll.
Alright.
I'm gonna Raccoon ult after this.
You ult next, Cheesy?
Yeah.
Alright.
Can't walk forward, ours lasts longer. Why have you rocket already?
Focus the healer.
Are you ulting, Cheesy?
I'm dead. I ulted already!
No.
No, my ult died, bro.
No.
Oh, back.
Say it.
I saw it. I don't know.
Didn't see it died.
Yeah, Phoenix, when Phoenix ults, it destroys the...
Oh,
Raccoon
immediately?
ult instant.
Alright.
Yeah, it's really bad. No revive, 10 seconds. Help Bucky.
Nice freeze.
Nice. I can't see Bucky from here.
It's okay. Admit it. You need me.
Sing will have his ult fast because I cancelled it.
Portal, careful.
Doesn't make it in town.
Nice. GG, guys.
Final score.
GG.
2-1.
Bro, fuck this. Why is my stream lagging, guys? Gotta fix it. Yeah.
Strange, cause it's only the game, bro, and you don't fucking game, right? Like, your game is fine.
My game is fine, but like the stream is not fine at all.
Do you have dropped frames?
Wait, I don't know. Yeah, it says like CPU usage is in yellow, FPS is like 50, MS is 15, everything is yellow and red. Doesn't look good to me.
Bro. Yeah, just don't make it like 2K. Change the resolution.
So I should stop the stream to do this, right?
Yeah, you need to like out
Bro.
F4 the OBS,
Wait,
open OBS, change the resolution, and start stream really fast.
wait. I'm panicking already.
Repeat the steps.
Wait, it's lagging. Literally, I can't move the OBS from my one to my next monitor.
You don't need to move it, just end it.
No, wait. So I close OBS, out F4. I
Yeah.
open it as an admin.
Oh, just open it normally.
And where do I go to change the resolution?
Right.
Let me see the event, please, before the next match. I'll have to restart stream because it's lagging, and I'll show you. I'll show you the event on.
It's fine, the stream is not gonna restart. You're gonna do it fast.
Guys, if stream like ends, just refresh because it's lagging right now. I have to restart it. It's from the 4K quality, which obviously fucks me up.
You go to video on OBS
Where is video?
in the settings.
Which settings?
OBS.
Settings. Video.
Video and change the base and output.
Yeah, to what?
To
180. 900.
90, 20 to...
Sorry.
Come on, do it fast now.
Alright, be right back,
Come on.
guys. I'm sorry.